It was nearly Halloween and Peppa Pig was very excited. She had already helped to decorate her house and today she'd been invited to a Halloween party. She had her costume all ready upstairs to change into and she was just about to get ready when the doorbell rang. "Oh, I wonder who that could be," she said to herself and went to answer the door.
"Trick or treat,"
came a voice as she opened the door, and before her stood a blue witch looking very like someone we know well. "Oh, okay," said Peppa. "Great costume, very scary," she smiled and went inside to find a treat for the visitor. "Well," said Peppa, "now, what's a really nice treat? I don't want to be tricked instead." She looked on the table and saw a lovely bowl of green juicy apples. "Of course," she smiled, "these apples are a wonderful treat, very delicious," and she selected one and carried it to the door. "Here you are," she said to the witch, but the witch was not amused.
"Apple?"
he grunted.
"Me don't want apple, me want cookie."
"Oh," said Peppa, looking a little surprised. "We do have some cookies. I'll just go and get one." And she returned the apple to the bowl and picked up a cookie instead. "Here you are," she said to the witch and gave him the cookie.
"Cookie,"
said the witch and promptly disappeared. Well, that was interesting, Peppa thought as she closed the door. I suppose I should start to get ready for the party. She was just about to go upstairs when the doorbell rang for a second time. "Oh dear, not again," she sighed. "I really do need to get ready for the party. Oh well, I'd better answer it." And she went over to the door and opened it.
"Trick or treat,"
said a voice from the other side of the door. "You look a little familiar," she said to the mummy who was standing there, but nevertheless she told him that she would find him a very nice treat. Back inside again, Peppa looked at the table. "Well, I don't think the apples were very popular last time," she thought. "I'll have to think of something else this time." And her eyes drifted over to the side table where there stood a lovely bowl of fresh carrots. "Oh yes, a nice juicy carrot," said Peppa. Surely that would be an excellent choice. And she picked one out of the bowl and proceeded to the door. "Here you are, a nice delicious carrot," she smiled and offered the carrot to the mummy.
"What?"
exclaimed the mummy.
"Carrot? No, me want cookie."
"Oh," repeated Peppa for a second time that day. "I'll just go and fetch one for you." And with that she disappeared into the house and returned again with a cookie in her hand.
"Thank you,"
said the mummy.
"Me like this game."
And with that he disappeared. "Now I really must get ready or I will be late for the party," she said, and hurried upstairs to put on her outfit. She was just coming downstairs when the doorbell rang for a third time. "I don't believe it," she exclaimed. "It's him again. But this time I know what to do. I'll give him a cookie straight away." And she selected a cookie and walked towards the door. This time there was a giant pumpkin standing at the door.
"This is so much fun,"
he chuckled.
"Me get cookies for free."
Peppa took a little longer to open the door this time because her Halloween costume was quite heavy. This made the giant pumpkin outside begin to get a little impatient while he was waiting. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't looking at the door as Peppa opened it. When he eventually turned around to say his familiar words, he got the shock of his life.
"Ah! Me being tricked!"
he screamed when he saw Peppa.
"Horrible! Scary! Ugly monster that's going to eat me! Sorry, me ate all your cookies! Me never come back!"
And with that, he disappeared, and that was the last Peppa saw of him for a very long time. "Well, that was a little strange," she exclaimed. "I wonder what got into him," she chuckled.
Good morning, Tom Moss. You're here at the pumpkin patch very early this morning. Are you looking for a pumpkin for your forest? No? Then you must be up to something. Go on, go back to your forest. Later that day, Peppa Pig and her friend Pedro Pony were busy helping Thomas and his friends decorate Tidmouth's sheds, ready for Halloween. There, said Peppa. That looks good, but I'm sure we're missing something. Well, we haven't got Ghostly Percy, said Henry. I think we need some walking skeletons, said Spencer. What about a pumpkin, said Gordon. That's it, said Peppa. We need a pumpkin. Thomas then said he knew of a pumpkin patch they could go to, and he steamed out of the sheds. Peppa and Pedro hopped on and off they went. At the pumpkin patch, Peppa and Pedro went looking for the right pumpkin. This one's nice, said Peppa. A bit small though, said Pedro. Then they turned around and saw the biggest pumpkin they had ever seen. There, that's the one we need. They went over and tried to lift it, but it was far too heavy for them. Don't worry, said Thomas. I have a friend who can help us lift it onto my truck. A few moments later, a car motored up. Wait a moment, said Peppa. That's Superman. Superman came over to the pumpkin and lifted it into the air, all on his own. Walked over to the truck and put it down. Thank you so much, said Peppa and Pedro. Thomas thanked Superman for coming as well. Peppa and Pedro got back on Thomas and off they went with a giant pumpkin. Back at the sheds, Thomas's tipping truck and a little help from Peppa and Pedro got the pumpkin rolling on the grass, and it came to a rest in exactly the right place. Perfect, said Peppa, and they stood back and admired their work. Is that your watch ticking? Said Peppa to Pedro. No, said Pedro. I haven't got a watch. Oh, I wonder what it is. Then there was a loud explosion. And pieces of pumpkin flew everywhere. Laughter could be heard coming from behind the sheds. Peppa looked, and there in the distance she saw a green engine. Tom Moss the prank engine. What did you do to our pumpkin? I'll chase him, said Thomas, and he rushed out of the sheds and headed for Tom. Tom saw him coming and made a run for it back to his forest. Now we know why he was at the pumpkin patch, don't we?